How's it going, critter people? Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going over a video by Beckman's Dog Training. Here we have a massive unneutered Boer with incredible owner meets prince and others. A Boer is otherwise known as the South African Mastiff. A very large, beautiful dog. This dog is absolutely gorgeous. I don't like the choke chain on them, because it is it's a training collar that should only be used during training. And two, it can choke the dog if it's not a regular collar. It's not cool. It's not, it might be a backup in case this dog pulls and they use it to choke the dog to stop the dog from pulling. Either way, Beckman says that this owner is incredible. So we're going to see if he is incredible or if it's just in Beckman's mind, in Beckman's opinion, that this guy is incredible. We'll see how I feel about it. I mean, not that anybody cares what I think, but I try to make these videos because these are the types of videos that I would like to see, and I don't really see that. I don't see anybody really calling other trainers out. I don't see other people really pointing out dog behavior from a neutral point of view, or, you can say that I'm biased just because I use positive reinforcement. I try to point out mistakes from both sides. So anyway, let's just get into it.
We are going to highlight this dog. This is
What a
Kong,
cutie.
19-month-old Boer Bull. Okay, you're going to see he's a little skittish at times, and he's came to me because he will occasionally not like a dog. Now, that was the first thing on why I was impressed with this owner.
Okay,
he's a little skittish right there. Why I was impressed with this owner. You're going to see Kong.
I do like this nice, wide, flat buckle collar. Beautiful size, especially for a dog this size versus something like this. This looks like to be for looks. But again, it's a choking hazard, this choke chain here. But I do like that this dog has his tail and he has his ears. I do like that they didn't just cut everything off to make him look, a certain way. I don't know if most people would cut off a Boer Bull's tail or not, but beautiful dog. And I like that they have a nice wide buckle collar on him.
Be better than 99% of large unneutered guarding breeds out there. Better.
His feet look a little flat.
Better than 99%.
In the front, that might just be the angle.
He's an awesome dog.
But it looks like he has a little bit of flat feet in the front.
This owner's not satisfied with...
Which could just be, lead to joint issues and whatnot. I'm not saying that that's necessarily of the owners doing that. Could just be him.
99%. This guy wants this dog to be cool with everybody. Now, is he going to achieve that? I don't know. That's a tough thing to ask, but that's why he's here. Okay. So that was the first thing.
And that seems like a lifetime behavior to accomplish, a lifetime of management to make sure this dog continues to stay okay with everyone. Your dog is not going to be okay with every dog just because they're the size of a house. No offense, dog. He's the size of a small horse, a miniature horse even. This dog has the right to consent, in my mind, has the right to say yes and no. And yes, I would like to meet this dog, or no, I would like not to meet this dog. I would not like to meet this dog. And so I would hope that this owner has respect for this dog. But it doesn't seem like he, I don't know if he does or not. Apparently he's strong enough to be able to hold back his 190-pound Boer Bull if he needs to, but it's not about strength. It's not about the mental manipulation that you can perform on this dog, because he's, Beckman talks about this guy having leverage. It's about leverage. It's about attitude. I would much rather have respect for my dog and my dog respect me. When Adonis was around, my Shiba Inu, who looks like, this hat, or he looked kind of like this. He's at the end of each one of my videos. Adonis had respect for me, and I had respect for Adonis. My Shiba was he would listen to me when he'd be chasing after Hermes, and I would have to raise my voice a little bit. He'd be like, okay, and I would say, leave it. He'd be like, okay, I got it. I understand. If I were to get up from the table and leave my food there, I could just tell him, leave it, just like that, in that tone, and he would leave it alone. I didn't have to be, all the time. If I had to have my mom voice out, if he was chasing after Hermes, probably because I left something out that Hermes got to, something of Adonis's, like a toy, or I left a treat out and Hermes got to it, and Hermes ran under the under the couch for safety to steal it from Adonis and Adonis were to chase him, that was my fault. But I still had to keep the peace. Then after that, I would retrieve whatever it was that Hermes stole from Adonis. I would split it up and I would give it to each of them in their own respective corners. Adonis respected me because I had respect for him. He was a dog, just like this dog here. This is a dog, a very powerful predator. They are predators. Adonis was powerful. Adonis was strong. This dog is probably 10 times stronger than Adonis was. But still, I would have respect for them for being an animal, for being a predator, for being predictable for the most part until they become unpredictable. And hopefully they don't become unpredictable. But if they do, then you work on that to manage that behavior. So my number one thing is not having attitude with the dog or having these Jedi mind powers that you can manipulate your dog. If you have a baby elephant, if you have a bull elephant, start with a bull elephant, a male elephant, a bull elephant that runs to an electric fence, you're going to piss it off and it's going to blast through that fence like it's nothing. If you start when it's a baby and it hits the electric fence, it's going to learn to as people would say, respect the fence. It's going to learn to avoid the fence as a baby because it is small and easily manipulated. Same thing if we have a dog here. Sorry, my neighbors are screaming and yelling. I hope you I hope you can't hear that. Anyway, if we have this dog here as a puppy and you grip this dog by the scruff, if this dog growls at you or this dog bites you a little too hard, you grab it by the scruff and you get in its face and you yell at it or you tell it, you're never going to do this again or you're going to be, I'm going to rip your head off or I'm going to, whatever you say to the dog will then think, okay, this person is scary. And even when they are fully grown, they're going to remember that because the human, I'm not saying the owner did that, but the human has manipulated the dog's mental, their mind to the point where the dog, it's learned helplessness, where the dog says, okay, I'm not going to mess with this person, even into adulthood because they scared me when I was little, when I was really easily controlled. And so it's all about mind control with when it comes to um, an animal this big and when you have attitude. That's what I think. This is how I hear it. When you have attitude with a dog, you have to have attitude. You don't have to have diddly squat. I think you should have respect for the animal. The animal should hopefully respect you. And if you raise them correctly, then they'll grow up to be a very well mannered, well balanced animal. Dog in this case.
When I was impressed is when he said that. Now you're going to see some body language stuff too. I'm going to break down some body language stuff for you guys. And when this owner is going to say something, and then I'm going to break that down in the video going forward. Okay, so why is this guy good at what he does? He's good because he's not taking any nonsense. This owner, he's just not. He's got too big of a dog to take a bunch of nonsense. So when the
So
dog,
what is nonsense though? What is nonsense in your opinion? Nonsense can be anything. I think the way Joel trains is nonsense. I think the way that this owner probably raised his dog is probably nonsense in my mind, where I think that he is over controlling that because he has a large dog, he is over controlling of this dog. Now that doesn't mean now look, the bigger the dog, the more control you have to have over them. I as sad as it is, it's true. But that doesn't mean that you have to be overly aggressive, unnecessary, or even abusive. I'm not calling this owner abusive. I'm not saying this owner has been abusive to his dog until we see it. Or unless we see it. But with this dog, just because they're super large, and I can appreciate that he is unneutered because it's better for his health overall. He's 19 months. Usually, you want to wait until at least 2 years until the dog this size is fully grown, so their growth plates close and all that good stuff. And maybe he plans to keep him unneutered for the rest of his life just for health issues. Okay, that's fine too. But you have that added testosterone, so you have to be aware of that. But just because you have a dog this size does not mean that you have to be like Larry Crone, Tom Davis, Garrett Wing of American Standard Dog Training. All of those people would probably have easily already put a shock collar on this dog simply because it is a very large dog. And so that kind of mindset, tells me that their lack of skills, that just because this guy can hold this dog back with brute force doesn't mean that this dog deserves that. This dog deserves better. in my opinion, if that's how this guy holds this dog back is by brute force. And that the fact that he doesn't take any nonsense. I think all of this is nonsense.
Does something that he doesn't like, he goes and gets the dog, he brings him back, tells him sit down or lie down. Just
That
like
to me is nonsense. And that is unnecessary, and it is probably how he treated this dog from a very young age, so this dog listens to him and this dog doesn't tell him fuck you, dude. You're going to respect me for what I am, which is a dog. I respected Adonis when he told me fuck you. I respected him when he would we went to a trainer that was dangerous, and the trainer couldn't even get him to sit, and Adonis would nip the trainer, and then I tried to force him to sit and he nipped me, and that's him saying, hey, F you. And I said, okay, all right, let's try this a different way. Instead of getting into a fight with your dog, instead of manipulating them from a very young age like you would with a bull elephant that you manipulate from a very young age, you tie them up in chains, you beat them, you're cruel to them, you abuse them, or you just yell at them, you pop them with a leash, you choke them with a choke chain, you hit them with a, you pop them with a prong collar, you use a shock collar, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, whatever mental games you're going to play with an animal this size when they are young, that to me is nonsense.
I do. And I'm telling you guys in many of these videos, I go, don't put up with the nonsense. Quit putting up with the nonsense from your
I agree, don't put up with nonsense, but you don't have to do it the way Beckman is doing it. That's a good way for a dog that really is going to teach you to respect them like a Shiba would, or a Husky will, or a Chow Chow will. They're going to tell you, that's not going to work with me. You don't act like a Shiba with a Shiba, or uh, you're gonna get the wrong end of the stick. Whatever that saying is. You have to treat Shibas demand respect. This Borbol probably doesn't demand respect. Otherwise, if this dog did demand respect, then he probably wouldn't own this dog. Or he would just be more aggressive with the dog to force the dog into submission.
dog who's just doing whatever he wants to do. Well, the proof is in the pudding with this owner right here. I told him a couple times that I cut out, like in the office. I was like, okay, don't forget to go get your dog. But for the most part, this guy already knows. His dog goes up and is maybe not great with another dog. He's grabbing his dog, he's walking him away, he's putting him down, he's letting the dog know that he can't do that. And the dog looks at him like, okay, buddy, I get it. Just like a
The
lot of
dog flinched when he bent down.
dogs look when I tell them, knock it off. And that's what you got to do. This is a 190-pound unneutered Borbal. Okay. But it could be a
So that's not the dog's fault. If you raise this dog with positive reinforcement, you don't have to worry about getting into a fight with it. You don't have to worry about the size of the dog. If you show respect to a dog this size or any animal, and you show that, like, I work with horses, I can use easily, and I work with dogs this size as well. I can easily use pain, fear, force, and intimidation to get them to listen to me, to respect me, but I don't, and I don't have to. I get further with honey than I do with vinegar. I don't have to beat an animal into submission. I don't have to worry about that. Regardless of the size of the animal. Again, if I work with horses, I can, because it's easy to abuse an animal who won't fight back, which are dogs and horses. If I work with a horse, I treat them with respect, and they treat me with respect. I respect them for what they are, a powerful animal that could kill me on accident or on purpose, but they don't feel the need to fight back. They don't feel the need to go into fight, and they don't need to feel the need to go into flight because I do it right when I'm working with them. Just like with the dog, they don't feel the need to go into fight or flight.
100-pound Ridgeback. It could be you're not messing around. You don't need an extremely big dog to have this attitude. You just need a
You don't need the attitude, period.
strong dog, and you need
Now, if this dog were to go after another dog, would I have an attitude? Absolutely. There's a difference between having, you can have boundaries where you can set them politely and appropriately and humanely, or and there's also where oh my god, my neighbors are literally spanking each other. If this dog gets into a fight, of course I'm going to raise my voice. That's just like with Adonis. If you were chasing after Hermes, I'm going to raise my voice. I'm going to have that, but I don't rely on that. I don't rely on screaming. That's a last ditch effort if I have to raise my voice. And that's usually in an emergency moment. But I don't plan for the worst. I plan for the best possible scenario. I plan to make it, so my dog listens to a whisper, so that way if I do have to yell, they will absolutely listen, be like, whoa, what's going on, what's wrong? Mom never raises her voice, so I really better listen now. But I would also like them to listen just as much if I talk to them in a tone just like this. If I say, hey, leave it, and Adonis would leave it. Or if I already say, leave it, as in like, emergency tone, he's about to get into something really dangerous, or he's going after Hermes, he's chasing Hermes, because it's going to happen.
To be strong. And you have this attitude, you're going to fix problems. Okay, and that's what this guy does.
You can create problems if you act that strong with the wrong dog. You absolutely can create problems, because that dog is going to say F you.
That's what I do. That's what in almost all my videos I'm trying to get you guys to do. But I wanted to highlight someone who knows how to do it already. I really didn't tell this guy much. He just did it. So I want you guys to see someone other than me or other trainers on YouTube. This is a normal guy who just knows how to do it. And I want you to see a
He sounds like he's setting this guy up to sound like he's like Beckman, which tells me this guy is probably a bully. If he is the way he is explaining, where if his dog gets out of hand, according to the guy, he goes and gets him and tells him sit and all this other bullshit, that to me sounds like a bully who is taking over an animal who will not fight back, who can kill him, but he is taking advantage of an animal who will not fight back. He doesn't respect this animal.
normal person do it because you're a normal person. All right, I'm going to jump back and forth on the voiceovers and go back and forth.
Around the owner. Oh, there's your friend. There's your buddy. It's great, man.
Good, happy tail.
He doesn't know he's neutered yet, though. I don't think. He'll know in a minute.
And this trying to pee on other, like, pees on the fence, on the dog. I'm not into that. He started doing that a couple of weeks ago.
I can agree. I don't want my dog to be pissing on the fence or pissing on another dog either. That could be because he's unneutered. That's a behavior that you can teach out of him. That is a normal behavior for the dog, but that's not a behavior that as a human I want my dog to do. So I would definitely teach them an alternate behavior. I would teach them an alternate behavior to that.
About a month ago. I don't like that.
Okay.
Try to get him to stop doing that. So I correct him when he does it, but.
Good.
All right, that was one of the first times I've heard an owner say, I'm not into my dog lifting his leg all the time on other dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I think Beckman should do with Prince.
Respectful thing, right? The owner does not want this guy to be the biggest, toughest dog in the world. He kind of already is the biggest, toughest dog in the world, so the owner doesn't want him to be overly peeing on dogs. Now, why do I let Prince pee? Prince has a stressful job. I need to let Prince do what Prince needs to do. So
I think that's an excuse. I think that's a cop-out. I think that's BS. I think that's nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. Adonis, I used him as my dog to rehabilitate other dogs. Was it stressful for Adonis? I mean, it could have been. I didn't put him in situations where he felt stressful. He didn't show signs of stress. He was just like totally chill. When he had a dog that was like acting like they were trying to kill him, and I had Adonis so far away, below threshold, so the other dog would be under threshold, so the dog wouldn't react, Adonis was totally chill. He knew that it was just a big, big nothing. And Adonis probably felt like he was the biggest guy in the sky too. He's a Shiba. That's just what they do. They're a very proud dog. They're very, animals can be prideful creatures. Did Adonis pee on everything? No. Well, I also had him neutered when he was 6 months old, so that was a little bit early, but for me. But anyway, even if he were still unneutered, then, I certainly would not let him be pissing on everything. No matter what his job title is, if it's a stressful job, that's not going to fly with me for him to be pissing on everything and getting that attitude in his head that he's the highest guy in the sky. He can think that for a little bit, but when it comes to when I tell him to take it down a notch, then I want him to take it down a notch. And he never really had to. If he never, I mean, unless he were working with a dog that needed to take it down a notch, then I would allow Adonis to kind of tell the dog off. But then after that, I'd be like, okay, enough, calm down, relax, chill. We're back on. Everybody is on level. Everybody's on the same level. And that's where I wanted Adonis to be, is to be on the same level as everybody else, unless a dog needed an attitude change because they were the biggest guy in the sky. Then I would let Adonis kind of go up a little bit and tell that dog off, and then that would be it.
That's why I allow Prince to mark on that deck that you guys have seen 100 times, because Prince has a crazy life. But I like that the owner was like, I don't want him peeing on dogs through
Good
fences.
for that owner. That's one thing I can agree
that was
on.
good, and I want to highlight that.
It's like,
This guy's almost as big as you, dude. Big happy wag. The more the wag gets to the side is the happier. It's a bit high. Connery, chill.
hey, you get down.
So I can appreciate that he corrects that. The way he corrected it, I didn't think he needed to yell at the dog. I would have just gently pulled the leash down, or I would have told him off instead of, hey, get down, you get down, kind of. You can say that I'm nitpicking, but again, just because he's a big dog doesn't mean you need to get this big badass voice, okay? He can listen to you talking at a tone like this, where you can say, hey, off, down. Well, I would say off versus down, because I don't want to confuse the dog between the word lay down and off, which means 4 feet on the floor.
His hair's up a little. Connery! Kong, come.
What happened right there? Connery growled. Kong went up on the fence. The owner said something, hey, and the dog stopped and went to him. What do you see me do in these videos? Dog does something wrong, go, hey, and dog goes, okay, I'm so sorry, and walks away.
I don't want the dog to be fearful of me. I don't want the dog to think, oh, I have to say, oh, I'm sorry. I just want the dog to be like, okay, I get it. Not, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Right? That's him. Normal guy, just like you. You can do this. You guys can do this with your dog.
But you don't have to. It's not necessary.
This guy can do this with this dog. All right? He just said, hey. Dog went, okay, my bad.
God. Prince, leave it. Prince, leave it.
Now, that's one thing that I would work on first, is I would work on this dog giving to pressure a lot lighter than this. If he's going to be meeting a dog, there's sure as hell no way this dog's going to be pulling me down to go get to another dog, especially a dog this size. Now, I say that, that he sure as hell isn't going to be pulling me down, but I mean that I want the dog. That's what kind of respect I want from a dog, is that they're not going to be pulling me to get to another dog. I would rather them be more focused on me than the other dog. That's the kind of relationship I would like to have with my dog. And I would certainly teach this dog as a young'un how to give to pressure very lightly. So when they are this size, no matter what's going on, they're able to respond very lightly to pressure.
Prince, leave it.
And he doesn't have a lot of control with Prince without having to resort to yelling. Prince, leave it. Prince, leave it. He's panicking because he can't hold this dog back. And if they get into a fight, then Prince is goners. Or maybe not. Prince is very agile and very quick.
He looks great. He's just so big. I'm just like,
It's really hard, bro, and that.
good boys. Good boys.
So I don't want that much tension, little lip lick. I don't want that much tension on the leash when this dog is meeting another dog. I would rather have them both off leash, and I would have this dog conditioned to a muzzle if I were worried about it. And I would have both dogs wearing a muzzle for safety, because I don't care what Prince is doing. I don't want him starting a fight with him and him not being able to fight back. I mean, although he could literally just body slam Prince and Prince would probably go flying. But don't get me wrong, Prince is also a very strong dog, a very large, strong, powerful dog.
Good boys. You guys are good boys. Prince, chill, dude. You're too small.
Watch Prince lip lick right there. Did you see that?
And he looked away.
Prince is saying, I don't want to fight. Now,
But the rest of his body is posturing with this
You're going
dog.
to see Kong lip lick in 1 second right there. That's Kong saying, I don't want to fight. These are two big, strong dogs who are saying, I don't want to fight, hence, there's no fight. They're both communicating with each other.
But then Prince continues to move forward.
Are they being
Whale eyes.
standoffish? Yes. But they're saying, I don't want to fight. That's what lip licks are. I've told you that before.
Then he relaxes. He opens his mouth again because he had a closed mouth earlier. So he was a little bit, there's maybe a little bit of tension there from what I could see. Then he opens his mouth, squints his eyes, and he says, okay, I'm relieving that stress.
Nobody seems to know this about lip licks, but that's what
Ellie,
they are.
I know, you're being good. Kong, you're great. You're great. You're just too friggin' strong, dude. Like, he's gonna win a fight. I know you're saying your pit was like, I think you said dominant over him.
Yeah,
But he was younger,
He's
maybe?
done. He's older. He's like 3 years old.
No, but it was when he was younger.
No, I mean, this is like recently. They've been going at it a little bit.
He's gonna win. And so if he goes at a dog and these two get in a fight, it's just gonna be a gnarly fight. But he looks good. He looks great.
So if you had these guys conditioned to a muzzle, God, what a beautiful dog. If you had these guys conditioned to a muzzle, then you wouldn't have to worry about that as much. You wouldn't have to worry about holding him back. I mean, yes, of course they can get the muzzle off. Muzzle is not like the end all be all of like all safety. But if you taught this dog to give into pressure lighter on the leash so you don't have to be struggling as much as he's struggling around other dogs, I think that would definitely help.
Great.
Yeah.
I love this dog. But like I feel like I'm like, you know, you paid for a feisty Fido session and I'm like, I feel like we got to get him with dogs. He's just so
Yeah.
he's so big that Prince isn't worried about him, which is good. Prince is showing like Prince isn't trying to dominate him.
Yeah.
He's not scared
I think I saw a little bit of Prince trying to posture around him.
from him. He's not. He's like, he likes him. Like, that tells us a lot.
I think Prince is avoiding him more than anything.
Prince will come out sometimes gun blazing, like, this dog's not right. Or Prince will be super scared. You saw that,
The bulldog,
the
the big,
English bulldog.
the
Or,
brown
excuse me,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Prince
that was a
like,
big-ass
"Hell
boy."
no."
He was a big boy.
And he's not like that with him. He likes him, but I mean, we can only just do so much because he's so strong. He looks happy though.
So he
like-
is showing, this dog here, Kong, is showing some happy tail wagging, it looks
I mean,
like.
This is
and
a
he-
unneutered male. The worst situation for
Well,
him.
that's what I'm
he's
saying, and that's
good.
why I said it's some unneutered males and not all of them.
Yeah.
Some he doesn't like and some he doesn't mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's okay. That's just like people. So you're not going to like every person you come across. Some people are douches. Some people are really nice. So if he doesn't like another male, that's okay. We want to teach him though to avoid the other male and to just walk away and listen to the owner and respond to the owner more than the other dog. Where you can do that using positive reinforcement, or you can do that using pain, force, fear, and intimidation, or these mental Jedi mind games that you play with your dog since he was a puppy.
His energy, he likes his normal energy, I think. Leave it. So if you want to start correcting some of these,
So I would have walked him away before then. That little correction there probably didn't do diddly squat, but maybe it did. Maybe it was enough because this dog is. I mean, these dogs, although they're massive, you know, although he is massive, it doesn't mean that he's not gentle. A lot of times they are very sensitive dogs. Like I know Great Danes are very sensitive. A lot of large dogs like this are very sensitive. Rottweilers, I believe, are very sensitive. I mean, hell, German Shepherds can be really, really big. They are also very sensitive. So this could have been a punishment to the dog. This very well could have been a punishment, for the dog. But I would have walked him away before he started peeing on the fence. You can tell when he's sniffing and he's like starting to posture himself. I would have just walked him away and told him leave it. I wouldn't have popped him. Not that that necessarily matters to the dog, but if the dog sees it as punishment, then I don't think that was necessary in that moment.
let's start correcting some of these.
The problem with that is a lot of times he does that.
Good.
I'm not right next to him.
That's true. You're a good boy. You're a
Then
nice
you need to be right next to him. You need to be having him on a leash more, depending on where you go. Don't go to a dog park. Don't go to other places that, until if you want to correct it, you got to be there to be able to prevent him from doing it. We're having a really good recall where he comes back before he starts to pee on something. So he can, respond to that in that moment and learn that, oh, okay, when my person calls me, I come back at that moment because I get something really, really good. And that will prevent him from peeing and practicing that behavior of peeing on the fence.
Boy. Okay, can we... Don't recall him yet. It's not fair. Oh, these German Shepherds. Two of them. Two of them.
Good. So I would have marked and rewarded for that moment there. I would have absolutely rewarded him for, not for the barking, but for, obviously, for, those of you who know about timing. When he was quiet, he moved away. Mark and reward for that behavior, because I want him to learn to walk away from dogs. That's the strongest behavior I want this dog to have, is to be able to leave dogs alone, even if he really wants to play with them, even if they're behind a fence, even if they're right in front of him. I would work on that, and loose leash walking.
Is you ready to recall him on the next time over here?
All right.
Now.
Come.
Instead of...
Come here.
Grab him. Bring him back.
Come here.
Good job.
Choke him. That's why he has the choke chain, because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, so he relies on force. Calm, screaming at his dog. His dog shakes off to relieve stress. His dog is scared of him. He does not respect his dog, and I have no respect for him. How about, instead of having your dog have to be dragged back by a choke chain, which is a cheat for this guy? This is all BS. This guy does not deserve this dog, in my opinion.
Sit.
Chokes him with a choke chain.
Oh, down.
Forces him down.
And tell him, okay, we're not holding a grudge. All he did is not come to you.
Right.
Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, come on.
Free.
You go see your friends?
He's afraid now. He's avoiding the dogs because of the owner. Now, had the owner done this using positive reinforcement, not this macho bullshit, which is exactly what this is. He's having a pissing contest with his own dog. But instead of teaching the dog to come back using positive reinforcement, where the dog wants to come back, and it would actually work, where you could teach the dog avoidance, or the dog can still have fun, and you could teach the dog to avoid the other dogs, but not out of fear. The dog learns to come back on a dime when you call them away from other dogs. That would be a stronger behavior. He's just taught the dog avoidance through learned helplessness.
He's already looking at me.
And recall.
Come. Sit.
Tell him he's a good dog.
Good boy.
Because he is a good dog.
Good boy.
I believe he learned from that grab and bring back, and then he was
because I do that to his ass. I don't let him get away with nothing, so.
Good.
That is just absolute nonsense. I'm going to end this video here before I get too upset. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you got anything from it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go say hi to your little critters. Say hi to for me. Give them some kind of love that they appreciate. Until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.